Welcome back to the channel. My name is Patrick, and in today's video I'm going to show you what happened yesterday when I traded news. Now, just as a disclaimer, I do not recommend trading news. I was not attempting to trade news. It just happened that my setup was available. I took my trade and the news catalyst helped the trade move in my direction a lot quicker than it would normally do. So I'm going to show you my setup, show you what happened. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll show you the trade I've taken this morning, which is still playing out right now. Okay, so we are on GU. Now, initially or normally, I prefer to trade EU, but EU yesterday was not doing a lot. Okay, so EU yesterday was here and it consolidated for most of the day, and it was not giving me no clear indication where it was going. I was looking for buyers. I did take a loss actually. I took a loss here because I believe I had a breaking structure here. It took me up and took me out here. Okay, so it was not giving me a lot. Okay, so I was looking for buyers because it was in a demand zone and I was waiting for a reversal pattern which I had here, but it just did not hold, and I just didn't understand why. Then I realized when I checked the forecast, I realized it basically price was waiting for the news catalyst to be released before it moved. Okay, so after I took this loss here, I went to GU to see if I could see a clearer picture of what price was attempting to do. Now on GU, it's very clear that it is currently in the uptrend. Okay, so from this low, it broke this high, broke that structure, came down, held here, this respected this low, so creating higher lows, and then it created a higher high here. Okay, and then it's been trending since trending up since. Whereas with EU, again H1, it has not been, it's not really clear. It's starting an uptrend. Okay, so you got a low here, a higher low here, and a higher high there, so pull back there and so on. Okay, so that's why I was looking for a buy there. Whereas GU's been more basically it's held its zones clear as a lot better than EU. So after I took that loss on EU, I came to GU to see what was going on. So supply and demand again, so we're in the demand. This low here pushes up, beats this high, breaking that downtrend. It pushes down, it holds there, and it eventually goes up again. So that's a pole, that's a flag, that's a pole, that's a flag, and this is a pole, flag, pole all the way to the top there. Reversal here comes down, and I would be looking for a buy here, but it didn't give me any indication yesterday, and that was the Asian session, so I don't trade that. So it beat this demand zone here and went to the demand zone a little bit lower. Now remember, this is a foreign exchange. Buyers are looking for sellers and sellers are looking for buyers, and they're all trying to get the best price, right? So if you're a seller here, you got a lot of commodity, this currency, you're trying to get out of your position at the best price. So here you could potentially get out because buyers could step in, but they never. And why the buyers not stepping there? Because buyers wanted to get in here. Because for buyers, this price here is better than this price. Okay, so remember this. It's key. It's very simple, and that's how the market works. I've been looking at different trading ideologies like ICT and SMC. All of it makes sense. All of it actually works in line with this, and all of it is just basically, to me, is an extension of supply and demand. Okay, so not to knock it, I know it works because it is exactly the same way as trader setups. For me, it's just an extension of supply and demand. And why? Is because supply and demand is universal. It's not just limited to forex. It's any commodity, inside trading, outside trading, when we buy cars, when we buy goods, clothes, everything, it's all based on supply and demand. So it's universal. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So price here came down here and buyers saw this as a discount. So when EU had taken me out, I came over to GU here and what I saw was that price had now entered the demand zone that I marked up, and I was looking for a reversal pattern. So GU did not mess around at all. So there was EU around this time gave me a reversal pattern. GU did not, because it pushed up here, pushed up, not really giving me a reversal pattern. It broke this and came down here. Here it gives a reversal pattern. Now it's kind of hard to see, and to be honest, so I got into this very early. So we're trending down. So we're trending down. I'm looking for a buyer, okay, because it's taking it down to the demand zone. Okay, got down to the demand zone, as you can see, and it puts in a reversal pattern here. Normally I view this on M5, but on this occasion I'll view this on M1. So came down here and it pushes up, so pole flag all the way down, poles here, and to continue its trend is meant to flag up here and push it down to break this low. So here it failed, okay, then from this low here it pushed up again. That is a break in structure. This is price trying to move to the upside, so that could have been my first indication that it wanted to go up, okay. So when it pulls back into this zone here, from this high to this low, when it pulls back into this zone here, you could enter that 50% or even at the top of that zone, okay. So the top of that zone is there, 50%. So top of that zone you'll be, and the stop loss is underneath this low here. So 50%, so top of that zone you're looking at 16 pips. If you waited for 50%, which is, I don't wait for 50% because you don't always get it, especially if price is moving quickly. If you waited for 50%, you could get a 10 pip, 11 pip stop loss, okay? So what I did was go to M1, and I was able to catch a very early entry because of what I saw down here, okay? So I'm gonna throw up my trade history. Okay, so what I saw down here. So we had the consolidation here, pole flag. Again, it's on any time frame, so it's the same thing here. So this is our high, it pushes it here, and that's our low. So poles, it should, that's a pole, that's a flag, and it should continue there, but it didn't. So it broke there. That was the first indication that the price wanted to reverse, okay? It pulled back in here, yeah, and it should respect this low here, which it did, and then pulled up again, okay? As you can see, I was, okay, it pulls up again, breaks this high, creating another high, then it should pull back in here, and you should get in here, okay? As you can see, that's roughly where I got in, but I got in a lot earlier, and the reason I got in earlier is because of what I saw on the higher time frame. When I saw the breaking structure here, this little W here, when it pulled back in here, I got in there, okay? So I've back tested this a little bit. I went through charts and I've seen on M1, when we get this little W here, that could be the start of a breaking structure. So I got in a little bit early and I gave myself I didn't leave my stop loss here. I gave myself a flexible stop loss in this occasion because I knew we were in demand. I saw what was going on, and I knew there was news going to be released. And with the news catalyst, what could easily happen is that price would pull against me, take me out here, then go, okay? Because a lot of times, and most of the times, if price wants to go up, it sells down first, okay? It sells down, then goes up. Or if it wants to go down, it buys up, then goes down, okay? So as you can see here, that's what this trend essentially was doing. It sold all the way down. Let's get rid of this now. Hold on. It sold all the way down here. From here, it sold all the way down, got into demand, and it went up, sold down again, then went up, okay? So that's what price tends to do before it moves. So I gave myself a flexible stop loss with that. I was able to catch this trade, and then I called it a day, and I believe this trade here, so I scalped it straight away. I had some size on it, I scalped it, took a little bit of money there, then I let the runner run, okay? So I got it for about 46 pips. and then I called it a day because that was near the end of the London session for me. So that was the end of my trading session. I tend to trade London session, so I look at the charts just before London session starts, and I'm trying to get out. I don't look for moves after London session, and the reason is because it doesn't work with my schedule. I've got 3 young boys and they need my time, so I don't trade after those times, especially when I'm doing a school run. So that was a trade, and that is how it played out. This was the news release. As you see, it just pushed it up aggressively, and when it started slowing down, to be honest, when it got into this supplier zone here, I got out because I knew from this supplier it could bring it down, which it did. It brought it down a little bit, 27 pips, then it went up again. Okay, so that's what happened yesterday, and that's why I ended up trading the news. I was not looking for a trade. I was not deliberately trying to trade the news. I was just trading as I normally do. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm going to show you what I did this morning. So again, if you know my setup, it's very simple, very clear what I did based on this zone. Let's see if we had any higher time frame confluence. I don't think we did. No. So the best thing is to wait for a price to enter your zones. You know, don't go around chasing price. But sometimes price will put in a reversal pattern in a zone that you wouldn't expect it to. So I would expect a reversal pattern from up here, but it did it here. Okay, so who am I to tell price what to do? If it gives me my setup there, I'm gonna take it there. So we are in a supply zone. It's not a great one here. There's one here. Okay, so that's where price here held from yesterday and pushed it down. So from this point here, let's just mark this out a little bit better. There's that high. There's a high here. Okay, so you got this high here. Price pulled down here, pulled up, consolidated, then pushed down. Okay, so and this low, I guess, this low here, that's the zone. Okay, so yesterday it consolidated during the Asian sessions there, and it didn't really get up into there until after the news release. So today it consolidated, then pushed up into it during the Asian session and slowed down there. Okay, that's when sellers are looking to come back in and maybe try and push the market back down. Okay, so what did I see that made me jump into this trade? Okay, so my setup, we have a trend coming up. So it's coming up. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for a reversal. I'm not looking to jump into this trend during the London session start. Okay, London session starting around here. Okay, I'm not looking to jump into this to try ride it up. Why? Because the trend started here. I'm too late in the trend. So there's one pole, that's a flag, another pole, that's a flag, another pole. I'm not going to jump in here to try to take this up. Okay, I'm too late. Okay, I want to scalp the beginning of the move. Okay, and also we are at highs now. This is lows, we are at highs. I'm not buying in a high. Okay, you sell at highs and you buy at lows. Very simple. Keep it very simple. Sell at highs, buy at lows. Same thing applies. Sell at supply, buy at demand. Okay, I'm not trying to run lows, I'm not trying to run highs. You could easily get trapped in the move doing that. Okay, so hold on. So my setup, we're trending up, price from this high here, sorry, from this point here pushes it up. Okay, then it turns around and breaks structure. Okay, so for me now, I need a flag before I could take this trade. So this is first, that's our fake breakout, that's a breaking structure when it beats this low here. Okay, let's see if we, okay, so when it beats this low here, okay, when it beats that low, I need now a flag before I can say, okay, I want this trade. So it flags up here, comes and breaks it again. So it breaks this low. So now we've got a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low. okay? So when price pulls back into here, this should be my entry based on this pivot point, okay? And then I'm trying to take price lower. Now you could do a 1-to-1. So from this zone to that high, that's 14 pips. A 1-to-1 from your entry, which is based on this zone again, a 1-to-1, 14 pips, you're here, okay? You could do a 1-to-1, or you could just scalp it based on this third drive out, okay? So that's what this third drive out. So hold on, sorry, this third drive out, okay? So pole, flag, pole, flags up again, that's your entry, and then we want this third pole, okay? And that is our move, that is my move, and that's the move I took this morning. I did take another trade based on it. Well, I took it twice actually. So I got in very early here, took that for 7 pips, then it came back up and I got in again. I thought, okay, this is an even better price, took it down again, and I left the runner. I took left the runner and the runner all the way down to 16 pips. Remember, that's the 1-to-1, so I knew it hadn't reached its realistic possibility with the 1-to-1, so I was happy to leave the runner to do the 1-to-1. I'd already taken this move, took another move there, made about 2% on this move, and then I left the 1-to-1, the runner to do the 1-to-1, okay? So it bagged me some change, okay? That is it for me today. That's all I'm doing. Hopefully you found this useful. You can see even with when there's a news catalyst, you could still trade based off supply and demand, because that's how the market works. That's how the market makers and the big players trade. They trade off these zones based on supply and demand, not necessarily zones. Forget that, they trade based off supply and demand. Supply and demand isn't a zone, it's not a price point, it's just, you know, economics. It's how markets, that's how exchanges work, okay? So it's universal, it's not just limited to trading forex, futures, crypto, or the stock market, okay? But if you understand this, if you apply this, you start seeing the charts in a easier way, and it makes a lot more sense, okay? So if I'm looking for a trade again today, I'm not buying here to try to take it up, even though it could do that. I am looking for a buy down here, okay? It comes down here and buy and maybe continuous uptrend, or it goes from here, continues uptrend there, goes to this supply zone, and maybe I'm looking for a sell from there. That's how you play it, okay? Mark out your zones, wait for price to come to you, puts in a reversal pattern. So if it's a supply, where supply here, price is coming up to this zone here, okay? So it's trending up towards you, cool, you wait for it. If it puts in a pattern, a reversal pattern, so it pushes up, pushes down, pushes up, breaks that low, yep, pushes up, breaks it again, that's a change in direction, right? That's a reversal, right? So when it pulls back up into that zone that broke and changed the direction you enter, and you could try to take price down. I rather do that than run these highs or run these lows and start guessing or anything else, okay? It's the easier way to trade, and that's the way I'm going to continue to trade, because that's what works for me, okay? Hopefully you found this useful. If you have, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section, okay? And I'll get back to you as soon as possible. This is Patrick signing out, and until next time, peace.